Hi there, everyone, and good evening. I am KP. Welcome to the Nightly on Hatch Plus, where the only crime we commit is stealing a few Z's. Speaking of crime, tonight we are joined again by Deanna Ortiz. She is a fabulous comedian and host of the Hatch Bedtime podcast. You know it, you love it, Crime for Bed. Hi, Deanna.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How's it going with your cozy little evening this evening?
Oh, it's going good. Yeah, I'm just, got a tea warmed up, ready to dive into some crimes.
Ooh, man, I kind of got to get into tea. I do a morning tea, but I got to do evening teas.
A cozy time tea, it's like, especially now that it's getting colder outside, and it's like, it is just the perfect little final end to the night.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of sell me alone with just a sleepy bear in a nighttime cap. That is enough for me to want to get on in.
Should we all get into like caps and sleeping gowns now?
I wonder about the cap because that's going to fall right off. But I guess a bonnet would be better. I know that's good for your hair.
Yeah.
But it does need the long trail.
That's part of the allure. Yeah, the longness and a stub of candle as I putter around my house.
That I would really like to do, but I would trip and light my house aflame. Speaking of crimes like arson,
Yeah,
I think you have another amazing crime for bed story to share with us over here, don't you?
I do. Yeah. So this story is a little crazy. And I just first have to ask, do you gamble? Do you gamble at all? Do you go to the casino?
I have. I'm not opposed to it. Like if someone suggests it, I'll get on in there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing about me. Every time I go to the casino, I hit it big. I win. I go in for 5 minutes. I make $400 and I walk out.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Mm-hmm. That is very, very cool. That's a great little like life hack to have.
Yeah. And it's only for slots. And I don't know how to count cards, but if there was a place that I'm going to cheat at, it is going to be poker. And that's what brings us into our story that I have today is the story about the gambling nun, Sister Mary Margaret Kruper.
I am so in with just the title. Wow.
Yeah. So Sister Mary Margaret, great name, while she was entrusted with watching over the children of Southern California Catholic school that she was working at, she also kept a watchful eye over their tuition checks. Year after year, she filled her pockets with the school's money and headed straight to Vegas. And I'm not so sure about like the tenets of the Bible, but like thou shalt not steal is definitely one of them. But I do think maybe we should add,
steal is up there.
Is there anything about betting on black?
See, there's nothing on that. And then they technically didn't use the word embezzle, and that's a separate form. So you can really pull hairs on some of that.
That we get into semantics on this. I love it. So a little bit of background on Sister Mary Margaret. She started working at a Catholic school in Torrance, California in 1988. She had been kind of working all over California at different schools before settling down in the Torrance area, where she stayed at the school, St. James Catholic School, for 30 years. It was a small school. It had like 300 students, and she was basically the principal. There was no principal title, but that's basically what she was doing. And when I'm picturing her, I picture the stereotypical nun, you know, the clothes, not a hair out of place. She's very strict. And actually, a lot of the students that she taught have the same memory of just like her favorite punishment being walking the perimeter of the playground as a punishment instead of, I don't know, detention.
Huh. Okay, getting the steps in.
Yeah. A classic nun.
She's also quite classic because it really doesn't get more classic than Mary Margaret. Sister Mary Margaret is kind of the name you use when you're like, what should I name this nun character? It's like, go with the classic.
Right? Yes. An old favorite. The entire time she's at this school, they're like running on a small budget. So the school has fundraisers constantly to raise more money. And the number one, like biggest successful fundraiser that they had was when they turned the school into a makeshift casino, which I think is so crazy for a Catholic school to like play poker for a fundraiser, like just have a bake sale like everybody else. But
I guess they're trying to, like, I can see why it really popped off because I would imagine the parishioners are like looking to be able to do a little sin. And then it's like, if it's hosted by the church, you don't feel bad. Like you can feel good going to the church's casino. Maybe you'd feel a little worse going to another casino.
Right? And you're like, oh, it's all for the kids, but I do get to play blackjack.
Yeah. They're like putting their whole house down payment on this one event.
For the school. So anytime that they did this fundraiser, the people who would always win big was Sister Mary and Sister Lana. No surprise. They would walk away with the big prizes of the night. If it was like a raffle prize or like, some donations, they were the two taking it home. But the parents didn't really like raise an eye. I mean, what are they going to do? Accuse a nun of stealing? Like,
the optics are not good on that. You do not want to be the one that's doing that.
What a lucky nun. I guess that's what we're going to, chalk it up to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Sister Lana was the other nun in cahoot with Sister Mary. She was hired in 96 and they were basically like besties. They would make regularly scheduled trips to Vegas and they were roommates at one point. And on their summer breaks, they would just like rent a townhouse in Vegas and just like sit at the poker table until like early in the morning. And I would love to see that. 2 nuns, a bachelorette party, and like, I don't know, Lady Gaga all at the poker table.
That's incredible. And they were a hit. That's the thing is like Vegas is like desperate for, anyone that's got something different going on. And walking in with your habits on, these two would be a total hit. They're getting bought. I guess they probably don't drink, but I don't know. Their moral compass is a little different than I've known. So maybe they do drink, but they're getting bought something.
I feel like at this point, if like you are a gambling nun, like have a glass of a red wine. Sure.
That's true. Yeah. Have a little of Jesus's blood.
There we go. Come on.
Throw him back.
Yes, at the table. And so anytime that anyone would like even question what the sisters were doing, they would say, oh, well, Sister Lana has a mysterious rich uncle who's giving her all this money. And I have covered a million crimes. Everyone always has a mysterious rich uncle without fail.
Everyone but me. I would love one. Okay. Interesting.
So this goes on for 20 years. The sisters have a second house in Vegas. They're considered high rollers at their favorite casino. 20 years of gambling. And then in 2018, Sister Mary is ready to retire. So this was the catalyst for like finding everything out. To get ready for her retirement, the church decides to do an audit to get the church's finances in order while they find a replacement. So it was never retire. I guess that's the moral.
I assume nuns, when they retire, are basically just still doing nun stuff.
Right? What do you...
I guess. I don't know. I guess she just doesn't have to make kids walk the perimeter anymore. She wants to retire from that.
Even thought about that. Like, what would she even do? Where would she even go?
She's probably still just going to spend like a lot of time chilling and praying and baking? I don't know. Maybe my nun knowledge is limited, I will say.
Very limited. Going to Vegas? Maybe she'll retire in Vegas?
Yes.
So once she gets word of the audit, Sister Mary starts kind of losing her mind. She starts asking for different files to be moved. She starts moving some funds around in different accounts, but it was already too far gone. The auditor had already started looking through the school's history. And while they started this basic bookkeeping process, they quickly found out that things weren't adding up. The sisters' long con of cashing the students' tuition check into their own personal account and siphoning off fundraiser money into their own pocket for 20 years was quickly found out. And the only reason that she was able to get away with it is because she was the one making the calls. She was the accountant. She was the finances. She did everything.
Of course. Like a lot of people wouldn't want to accuse a nun of anything. Auditors, they're going to do that. Auditors don't care. They're salivating at the idea that they can catch somebody.
Oh, yeah.
I think an auditor is happy to get the nun, be like, no, it was her, and get her.
The second. And that's the thing, it's like, they did this for 20 years, and almost immediately they were like, whoa, like red flags everywhere.
Totally.
Around this same time, a family started like looking into some issues with their tuition check, and they saw that the tuition check that they wrote for their kids was getting cashed into a different account. And so everything started adding up and kind of like a snowball. And towards the end of it, when they added all of the stolen money up, it was over $800,000 that went into the sisters' pockets.
That is so much. That is like, I knew it was going to be a lot, but I guess to me, I was like, how much money could there possibly be in a church in general?
Yeah.
Because it was like, you don't expect, I guess it's over 20 years, but oh my gosh, $800,000 she
almost
went to
$1 million
Vegas with.
Yeah.
Did she win big? You said, yeah, sometimes she would win, right?
Yeah.
Where is she holding her own money? Just in her own, like under her mattress?
Right. I think this is where like the speculation comes in. I think that she was just a really, really addicted to gambling. And so that anytime that she would get in over her head, she would take a little bit from the fund and put it into her own account, and then a little bit more. And,
I see. Yeah.
Right. I think that's what it is, of like, she has her own bank account that she's just like, oh, I'll just take a little bit and I'll replace it. That's the thing. People justify it in their head by saying like, oh, I'll put it back before anybody realizes that it's gone. And then slowly it's $800,000.
That's a lot of money. And then Lana was in on some of this too. So she's going down for this too.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So, and the other thing is that like, this was all the money that was used for the fundraisers. Like, they needed a new roof for the school. The kids needed, all this other stuff. And it was just being siphoned off into, I don't know, the roulette table.
That is tough. I can't believe that there wasn't a point when her whole day is spent confessions. And repenting.
Yeah.
I can't believe there was just no dissonance.
Right, because I have two ways of thinking of this right now where I'm like, oh, maybe they just were in over their head and they couldn't see the forest for the trees. Or maybe they were just like cold-hearted nuns that stole from children. Maybe. There could be two ways,
Okay.
So,
wow.
After all this realization, the school calls a meeting with the parents and they tell them, hey, Sister Lana and Sister Mary are no longer working with us. They spoke on behalf of the two women, saying that they take responsibility, they're really sorry, and they are no longer working at the school. But because it's a private school, the church decided to not bring the police into it. The sisters basically went off the grid. And the parents lost their minds. They were completely, incensed, and they rallied together to bring the consequences down. And eventually the two sisters are taken into custody for embezzlement. Once in custody, Sister Mary admits to stealing the money from the church. And she's 80 years old at this point.
Oh my gosh. Well, she's retired.
Right? Yeah.
She got her retirement. She's going to be sitting around for a bit.
And she took her retirement, at 366 days in federal prison.
Oh, a whole year? Okay.
A whole year, yeah.
Yeah. My goodness.
It's good.
It's good. I understand why the priest was like, I can't really be like, again, there's optics here, I imagine, where the head of the school can't be like, and we're going to get her dragged out of here by the cops. But I get that the parents are like, no, we will do that.
Yeah. Oh, no problem. But actually we can.
No worries.
Right?
Stand aside.
We'll just give them a couple Hail Marys and just know that they feel really bad.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and do that.
They also had to pay back $825,000 back to the family. And that's the end of it. This 80-year-old nun went to jail. And I know that crimes are bad. I know crimes are bad. But if I went to jail and my bunkie was a nun, like an old stealing nun,
Obsessed.
That's a little hardcore, right?
I have to imagine she did kind of well in there. Maybe I'm overemphasizing how rare and cool it is to see nuns, but I am like, I bet in prison, you got a nun and she's good at gambling. Yeah, we're playing. Yes. We're playing dice or something.
Exactly, yes.
Dare I say maybe her retirement was kind of fun. Wow, and Lana went too. I don't know why I'm so stuck on Lana, but I'm like, it is wild that those two just had this cool little best friendship.
Yeah. She went to that, the Sister Mary was already stealing, and then Sister Lana comes in and she's like, girl, you're going to love this place. Let's, how good are you at poker?
I got you, sweetheart.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lana's like, I'm in. Fully.
I guess. Yes,
wow. I want a movie. I want an Ocean's 15. I want a HBO show. I don't know what I want, but I need it. I want to see this come to life because it's very Thelma Louise to me. Very two best friend women running against the grain. It's fun.
I love the idea of a double life too. Like the two in Vegas, maybe they really, they let their hair down and they gamble, they party. They're out with the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere Arena. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, you said you're of two minds. One is they're cold-hearted. The other is they just got wrapped up. What do you think more of if you had to choose?
I think Sister Mary is cold-hearted, and I think Lana more got wrapped up in it and was like, everything we'll work it out. No problem. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I would have to imagine if she was 80 when she got caught, she was 60 when she started this whole kind of scheme. True?
Yeah.
Because you said it'd been going for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine her intentions were at one point very pure. You joined the nunnery early on.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to imagine at some point her intentions were pure.
Yeah.
And then perhaps the kids, I'm going to say the kids drove her to it. I'm going to blame them.
Good. Yeah, me too. Yeah. These kids.
Yeah, I actually think it's those nasty little kids.
Yes.
Well, Deanna, that was such an absolute ride. Thank you for sharing. Should we end it off with a little thrills, just like these nuns like to catch, by playing a game?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, let's play a little Would You Rather. This is not a gambling game. I think we can't get addicted. Okay, would you rather play the first interviewed witness in a Law and Order episode, like, you know, that very Brooklyn guy moving crates at the dock, that guy, that kind of vibe, or play the murder victim in a small town British crime drama?
Ooh, I think I'm going to have to go murder victim, small town British crime drama, because the twists and turns are always so good, and the small town vibes, and it's like, you know, by the sea, and it's cold.
It's always by the sea.
Yes, yeah. That brings me back to my tea. I mean, I'm dead in it, but that would be very fun.
Yes. It's always on a rocky cliff on a gray day. Mm-hmm. And you get justice usually. Those British crime solvers, they'll get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose, I do love the witnesses in Law and Order because they are just, I've never seen people be so rude to cops in real life, but I love the New York sensibility of Law and Order, where anytime these two lovely cops come to them, the people are like, what's it worth to you? Yeah. And just really ribbing them out. I like that.
Yeah, I saw the guy.
I don't know. They like want to get greased up like it's 1940s. Yeah. I love that. I love it.
And then a lot of times that first person comes in again. So it's like, you could maybe, we're setting the seed. Maybe you're the one that did it.
Yeah. I'd love to get some question marks going for my character.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming into the Hatch Pillow Fort. This was so fun. What an absolute trip. I love it. And I hope I dream of them tonight. Lana and Sister Mary Margaret. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing your crime story with us. And thank you for being here. Good night, Deanna.
Good night, KP.